Oh, wait, so get this right. Today, we're doing a deep dive into animal camouflage.
Sounds exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
And, you might think it's just like, oh, blending in, but you'd be wrong. We're going way beyond that. We're looking at a top 10 animal camouflage masters list. Experts put this thing together, and let me tell you, get ready for some serious, like, jaw-dropping moments. You'll be like, how is that even possible?
Oh, yeah. Evolution has, really pushed these creatures,
What?
to develop some pretty insane camouflage strategies. It's not just about hiding, though. It's
Right.
about hunting, surviving, even tricking other animals. It's a whole, arms race out there in the wild.
Absolutely. So we're not just talking like stripes and spots, right?
Yeah.
We're talking animals that look like leaves, rocks, other animals, you name it. And to kick things off, we're starting with, I think, the master of disguise, the leaf-tailed gecko.
Good choice.
Yeah, I mean, most geckos already blend in pretty well, but the leaf-tailed gecko, well, they've taken it to a whole other level.
Oh, absolutely. They've evolved to look exactly like dead leaves, down to the irregular edges, veins, the whole 9 yards. And it's not just their appearance either, right?
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, they even hang perfectly still. Sometimes they'll even sway gently in the breeze, just like a real leaf.
Wait, so they're actually moving to, like, mimic a leaf blowing in the wind? I mean, come on, it's commitment. How does that even work? Are they, like, thinking, okay, time to sway like a leaf?
It's gotta be instinct, right?
Yeah.
Something honed over generations. And honestly, it's incredibly effective. Predators just scan right past them. They think they're looking at a harmless leaf.
It's amazing how something so, well, simple can be so effective. Okay, next up we have the chameleon.
Classic.
Yeah. Everyone knows they change color,
Hmm.
but, I mean, what's really going on there?
Well, their color changing ability is definitely impressive, but the how is what's truly mind-blowing. They have these special cells in their skin called chromatophores.
Chromatophores.
Yeah, and each one contains, different pigments, right?
Hmm.
So by contracting or expanding these cells, they can literally mix and match pigments like a painter's palette.
So it's not just about changing color. It's about, like, matching specific patterns and shades to their surroundings.
Wow.
That's way more sophisticated than I ever imagined.
Oh, yeah, it's incredible. And they can change incredibly quickly, sometimes in seconds. Imagine, changing your outfit in the blink of an eye to match your environment.
Talk about a fashion superpower. I mean,
Wow.
imagine that.
Right.
That'd be pretty handy, especially if you're trying to, avoid being someone's lunch.
Sure.
Or maybe you're trying to sneak up on your lunch.
Right.
Which brings us to, I think, one of the coolest camouflage masters out there, the mimic octopus.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, this guy isn't just hiding. This is practically a whole theatrical performance.
The mimic octopus is, a master of deception. It doesn't just change color to match its surroundings.
Really? There's more?
It changes its shape and behavior to mimic other animals.
No way.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people have seen it imitate everything from, poisonous lionfish to sea snakes, even flatfish. It's wild.
Hold on. So you're telling me it can actually change its body shape to look like these other animals? How does it, have shape-shifting bones or something?
Shape-shifting bones. Well, no, not exactly.
Yeah.
But they do have these incredibly flexible bodies and a complex system of muscles and, those chromatophores we talked about. All that together lets them contort themselves into a variety of shapes. They've even been seen copying the swimming patterns of the animals they're impersonating.
So it's not just a visual trick. It's a whole performance. Why go through all that trouble, though? What's the evolutionary advantage?
Well, I mean, survival, obviously, right?
Right.
By mimicking dangerous creatures, they can scare off predators. And by mimicking prey, they can lure in unsuspecting victims. Talk about a brilliant strategy. Offense and defense, all in one.
Okay, officially mind blown. And we're only 3 animals in. Up next, we have a creature that's all about hiding in plain sight. The stick insect.
Oh, yeah, those guys are masters.
Stick insects. They are the ultimate blend-in champions.
Yeah.
Their bodies, they're practically twigs and branches, bumps, nodes, even color variations to match the bark of the trees they live on. Amazing.
They've got it down to a science.
They really do. It's like they're practically invisible. But do they even move? Or do they just, stay perfectly still all the time?
Well, they do move, but it's very slow and deliberate. Often they'll sway gently, like a twig in the wind. Helps them blend in even further.
Genius. Okay, so for number 5 on our list, we're going from blend in to stand out. This one's a beauty and also kind of deadly. The orchid mantis.
Now, that's a cool one.
I know, right?
The orchid mantis is a fascinating example of what we call aggressive mimicry. Instead of blending in, it actually stands out. It looks like something attractive. In this case, a beautiful flower.
Wow.
Yeah, its legs are shaped like petals, and its body has that delicate coloration of an orchid.
So it's basically a wolf in sheep's clothing, like using beauty as a weapon.
Exactly. Insects are drawn to the mantis, thinking it's a flower, and then bam! It's a perfect example of how camouflage can be used for hunting.
Talk about a deceptive beauty. I bet those insects never see it coming. All right, from the delicate beauty of the orchid mantis, we're going to something a little less glamorous, the stonefish.
You think?
Oh, yeah.
The stonefish might not be winning any beauty contests.
Nope.
But it's a camouflage champ, for sure. It lives on the ocean floor, and its, well, bumpy, textured skin makes it look just like a rock.
I've seen pictures of these guys, and they're like invisible. Do they even have to move to hunt? Or do they just, sit there and wait for prey to come to them?
Ambush predators, that's what they are. They rely on their camouflage to stay hidden and, wait for some unsuspecting prey to swim by. They're incredibly patient, these guys. They can remain motionless for hours, blending in with the rocks and seaweed.
Effective strategy, I'd say. Makes you wonder if they ever get bored just sitting there. Yeah, I guess patience is a virtue when you're a stonefish.
For sure. But anyway, from the ocean floor, let's head to the Himalayas. Those snowy peaks, home of the snow leopard.
Majestic creatures.
Absolutely. And they show how different camouflage techniques, they can all work together to create like the ultimate disappearing act.
Okay, so how does the snow leopard blend in with all those rocks and snow?
Yeah.
Is it just the white fur?
It's more than just the color, actually. Their fur is this like mottled gray and white, right?
Okay.
And they have these dark rosettes, these spots, and those help to break up their outline against the background,
Interesting.
Yeah, it's called disruptive coloration. Makes it really hard for anything to, see their shape, predator or prey.
So it's like their spots are designed to make them invisible. Clever.
It is, yeah. And it works especially well in, the dappled light up in those high altitudes.
Right. Okay, speaking of blending in, let's talk about the patu bird. Now this one is all about disappearing into trees. What's their secret?
The patu bird, huh? Yeah.
Well, when it perches on a tree, it looks just like a broken branch.
Oh, wow.
Their plumage is mottled brown and gray, perfect for blending in with the bark.
Makes sense.
And get this right.
Yeah.
They have these large eyes, right?
Oh, yeah, I've seen pictures.
They face forward, helps them see in low light, right?
Okay.
But when they close their eyes, there's this thin, dark line. Looks just like a crack in the wood.
Wait, so they even have, like, camouflaged eyelids? That's crazy.
Pretty wild, huh? And that's not all. They stay completely still for, like, hours sometimes.
Yeah.
Just adds to the whole disappearing act.
They must be amazing at hide and seek. Okay, moving on to number 9 on our list. We're going back to the water. To meet the leafy sea dragon. This one is truly mesmerizing.
Oh, they are something else.
I've seen pictures, and they're breathtaking. It's like they're wearing a costume made of seaweed. The leafy sea dragon, right. They're a perfect example of how an animal's body can be its camouflage. They have these elaborate appendages look just like leaves mimicking the seaweed.
And it's not just a visual thing, is it?
Nope. Their movements mimic the swaying of seaweed in the current. Really hard to spot them.
Amazing. All right, for our final camouflage masker, we're heading to the Arctic to meet the Arctic fox. Perfectly adapted for that extreme environment.
Oh, yeah. The Arctic fox is all about seasonal camouflage.
So I've heard about this. It's like they have a winter wardrobe and a summer wardrobe. Right?
Exactly. In the winter, they have this thick, pure white coat, blends right in with the snow.
Right.
But then summer comes around, snow melts, and they molt. Get a brown or gray coat to match the tundra.
Yeah, that's so cool. But how do they know when to change their coat? Is it like an internal clock? Or do they sense the change in temperature or something?
It's mainly about daylight hours.
Daylight hours.
Yeah. Longer days in the spring, the fox's body produces hormones, those trigger molting. And then shorter days in the fall, different hormones, winter coat grows back.
Yeah.
Amazing adaptation, right? Camouflaged year-round.
So they're like living thermometers, adjusting their look to the seasons. That's incredible. We've covered 10 amazing examples of animal camouflage today. And I'm blown away by, how diverse they are and just the ingenuity of these adaptations. It's incredible.
It really shows you the power of evolution, right? I mean, these animals, they've developed these amazing ways to to hide, to hunt, to survive over millions of years. And they're still adapting, still evolving. Who knows what amazing camouflage tricks they'll come up with next.
It makes you wonder what other secrets are just hidden in plain sight. What do
Yeah.
you think is the most mind-blowing thing about animal camouflage?
Yeah, it really is mind-boggling.
It is. I mean, we've gone through all these visual tricks
Yeah.
and the multi-sensory deception, these adaptations. I mean, they make these animals practically invisible. It's like they're always one step ahead,
Yeah, yeah.
using camouflage to outsmart their predators and prey.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Absolutely. And the more we study these animals, right?
Right.
The more we learn about how evolution, behavior, the environment, how it all like plays together. It's a field that's always changing, always evolving, just like the animals themselves.
That's what I love about these deep dives. It's not just like learning cool facts, right?
Mhm.
It's about understanding the natural world better
Right.
and appreciating, how diverse life on Earth really is.
Couldn't agree more. The more we learn, the more we realize, like, wow, there's still so much we don't know.
Exactly. So, what are some key takeaways for our listeners today? What do you really want them to remember about animal camouflage?
Well, I think the biggest thing to remember is that camouflage, it's more than just blending in.
Right?
It's this complex adaptation. It's physical traits, it's behavior, it's
Yeah.
understanding the environment. It's blending in, sure, but it's also standing out, mimicking other creatures. It's wild.
It's like they're always playing this game of hide and seek with nature,
Yeah,
and they're winning.
you got it. And the more we study them, the more we see the different strategies they use, the lengths they go to survive.
It's incredible. Well, I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about today. I mean, we've seen it all, right? The snow leopard's patterns, the mimic octopus changing shape, and who could forget the leafy sea dragon with its seaweed fashion sense.
Oh, yeah. It just shows you the natural world. It's full of surprises. There's always something new to discover.
Before we go, I gotta challenge our listeners. We've talked about all this, but seeing is believing, right?
Yes.
So I encourage everyone, go online, search for pictures, videos of these camouflage masters, see if you can spot them in their natural habitats. It's harder than you think.
It is,
It's a fun way to really see how effective these adaptations are.
for sure.
And who knows, maybe it'll inspire you to, get out there, explore nature, find some hidden wonders in your own backyard.
That's a great idea. So keep your eyes open, stay curious. There's a whole world of camouflage out there.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of animal camouflage. We'll see you next time for another adventure into the wonders of nature.